Coco Gauff enters Wimbledon, getting ready for the first round, playing July the 1st, as you see at 5 a.m. And she's playing Ukrainian Maska. And everybody's excited to see if she's going to be able to bounce back from that opening round loss in her last tournament, even though she won the French Open. But let's check out exactly what she had to say about getting ready to compete at Wimbledon.
And state your name and organisation when asking your question. Coco, how does it feel to be back at Wimbledon?
Yeah, it feels great to be back. I'm super happy to be here. And yeah, always grateful to be back here.
Ray Garver, WTA. I saw you up there hitting balls with Mira.
Yes.
Court 18. How'd that go? And who came out on top? You looked like you were counting.
Well, I don't know if we were counting. I know I was down a break, so I guess she probably won that one. Oh, you were counting. That's how you know. I don't know what the score was, but yeah, it was great. I like practicing with Mira, and yeah, she looks like she'll do well here.
Catherine? Hi, Coco. Really hard-hitting question from me. I've just seen you've come in with the strawberry.
Yeah.
People have been debating what it should be called. Do you have any suggestions?
This has been in other press conferences?
No, just in the wider world, outside of this room.
Oh, the little girl who interviewed me said his I don't know if it's a girl or boy, non-binary, that their name should be Straub. So I'm gonna name it Straub. I don't know if I like that name, so I think I'm gonna rename it later on.
Let us know what you read.
Yeah, I will.
Lucy?
Yeah. Oh, Lucy Blackman Global. You came into the season, you said that French Open was your goal. What is, if you are happy to share with us, what's your next goal, or if any is grass related as well?
Yeah, the next goal coming up, obviously, to have a good result here. I've lost in the fourth round a few times, so I would love to get past that stage. So yeah, I would say that's like the next thing I'm looking forward to. I would love to win this, but I'm a big believer in just conquering one step at a time. So if I get past that stage, then I'll start thinking about the winning.
Matt?
Hey, Coco.
Hi.
When you do move to the grass, and I realize this was a kind of an awkward move to the grass this season,
Yeah.
for good reason. What do you focus on in terms of your game, in terms of adjusting it? I think you were speaking a couple of weeks ago about it being a little bit of a challenge for you. So what do you do when you're on the practice courts? What are you thinking about? What are you trying to get better at to get past it?
Yeah, for sure. Movement. It's obviously a lot different than clay, and just keeping the ball lower. Obviously, clay, it's playing with a lot of high heaviness and that type of game. And this one, I just feel like you had to play a little bit lower and a little bit more aggressive than the clay season, which is a bit difficult just because, you spend I don't know, however many long weeks the clay season is playing a certain type of way. Then we come on grass and we have 13 days to not completely change because you still have the core of your game, but just change a little bit how you play. So yeah, I think that's the main things that I think that I would need to work on to be successful here. But and then serve, I want to be pretty aggressive with the serve here just because it's grass.
Ava Wallace with the Washington Post. Follow up on that. How do you work on that in 13 days? Are you on the court a lot doing movement drills? What can you share any specifics like that? Yeah.
Well, before Berlin, I only hit twice before my first match. So I figured I wasn't going to do the best there. And I fell a couple times during that match. I was like, I definitely need to get on the movement. So yeah, we started after that. I kind of did a lot more fitness and stuff on court, more movement drills, things like that on court. And then after that, it's just kind of refining certain things, just getting loose to playing lower. A lot of people like to use a slice here. So just working on playing and hitting more slices and playing more slices. So little things like that I think will make a difference in the match.
The last couple of weeks been like for you after the French Open and just processing that, handling that, also know that you need to get ready for another major?
Yeah, I'm very much someone who can look ahead very quickly. So, the first 2 days after, I was just trying to really take it in and stuff. But once I got back from New York, I was pretty much more focused on here. Just thinking about what I need to do to where I feel like the areas of my game I need to improve on. And yeah, I think for me, I just rather just stay in the moment and think about this and kind of forget French and then revisit it maybe at the end of the season and celebrate it a little bit more. Because I do think like US Open, I was able to like sink in that a little bit more just because that was the last slam of the year. But I still want to do really well here. And I feel, pretty confident on the court. So for me, it was important just to forget, which is easy for me because I'm always looking for the next thing. And usually I'm someone who you have to tell to settle in more. But I don't know. I just think I want to go get rid of it. And then when November comes, I'll revisit.
Howard.
Hi, Coco.
Hi.
Wanted to ask you about yesterday with Aryna and sort of what that dynamic was like after all the hubbub over the post-match stuff in Paris.
Yeah.
And whether you sort of looked at the whole situation after Paris and what she said with some level of empathy because you've been in the position of being the player losing the big match, and what that maybe difficulty can be for a player speaking about what just happened, addressing the opponent and all of that after a loss like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously some people were critiquing what she said in the speech. I didn't really care about any of that because I know how it feels. And I understood what she was trying to say. It was a terrible condition day. I don't think I was playing well either. So I understood where she was coming from with that. Obviously, some of the stuff that was said in the presser, I think I was a bit more surprised about. But yeah, I'm not someone to hold a grudge. And when I was talking to, my circle about it, I was like, if she apologizes, like, not even publicly, it was just more so privately, I will be fine and we'll move on. And she did again when I saw her before practice. And yeah, I was just water under a bridge. And I know Aryna and, I felt like before that we got along pretty well anyways, before all that happened. So it wasn't very hard to, accept that apology. And yeah, I understand things weren't, I guess, translated as how she meant it to be. And she understood that. And I understood that's not what she meant. And yeah, I think the TikTok was more like, we would do a TikTok anyways. We have in the past at WTA finals and things like that. But I think that was just more so just to, kind of show people that we are on good terms. And, there's a lot of things that have been said, and I'm not someone that like supports hate and things like that. And so I thought I would be a good idea for that, just so people can really see it and kind of move on. Because I think we're both tired of talking about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hi, Coco. Nishal Shvalgobatel from Olympic Channel Services. It's been 6 years since our win against Venus Williams here as a 15-year-old girl. How do you feel you've grown as a player and as a person since that moment?
Yeah, I've grown a lot. I think, that moment for me was like the start of believing that maybe my dreams could come true. And yeah, I mean, that still feels crazy. It still feels like a dream. And honestly, I guess out of all the matches that I've won, I think that's the one that still feels the most fake, if that makes sense. And I guess the difference now, I mean, that was like the start. I had so much belief, and I feel like now I kind of regained that belief in myself. I feel like I lost it somewhere along the way between like 15 and 19. And at 19, I was able to regain that, or I would say like 16 and 19, I think I was struggling with confidence and things like that. And I was able to regain that. So if anything, I feel like I'm more similar at 21 to 15-year-old me than I probably was maybe when I was coming here at 18 or 17 than 15-year-old me, just because I feel like now I still have like that childlike confidence, and also just approaching the game and just having so much fun. Like I'm like really happy to be here.
Ben?
That's again about the Sabalenka thing. There's so much TV and social media also.
Yeah.
I guess how did you sort of process that volume of attention on that moment? And then also I think probably a lot of people were very ready for you to have some sort of clap back, and you probably had lots of openings where that was possible for you to do.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, was that at all tempting, or how easy was it to sort of take this like committed high road even while there was all this sort of like energy behind you and support for you, try to, people standing up for you or saying things sort of on your behalf against her? Like, what was that whole, like, just processing that sheer amount of noise?
Yeah, it was very weird. And I mean, at first it was I'm transparent. At first it was a little tempting just because the apology did come a little bit later. I thought it was going to come pretty quick. But after that, I mean, I didn't want to fuel more hate. I'm not the person that will feel like hate in the world, and I think people were taking it too far. It wasn't even like more holding someone accountable. It was just really targeting and saying a lot of things that I felt like were not nice, and I didn't want to feel that more. And in general, I think even immediately after in my press conference, I didn't know what was exactly said. I was going based off what someone was saying in the press conference. So I didn't want to say anything unless I saw exactly what was said too. But in general, I'm someone, I preach love, I preach light, and I feel like I just practice what I preach. And if someone were to say something, I feel like most of the time I'm always going to try my best to take the high road. I can't promise in the future I won't, but I try to, just because that's what I would want, someone to look up to. And what if I'm thinking about my brothers watching me, and that's what I would want them to do. So yeah, I think for me, yeah, there's obviously temptation. I wouldn't be lying, but I don't know. I just want us to be kumbaya, live happily, hakuna matata, and yeah, and be happy here. So yeah.
You played obviously a really entertaining final on the Saturday, and then the men's final the following day, like 5.5 hours. Have you ever thought about what it'd be like to play a best of 5 final? And I guess from the perspective of equality, like, is that something that you'd be interested in moving towards if it was like a final, semi, quarter, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I've thought about best of 5, and I mean, I think it would favor me a little bit just from a physicality standpoint, but yeah, I mean, I don't mind tennis the way it is too. So I think both are interesting, like, point takes and everything. So I don't have any opinion. I mean, obviously I think it's because it's been this way so long, I wouldn't mind just keeping it like that. But 5.5 hours is insane. And the fact I was like halfway home on a flight, like to the US, and they were still playing, which is insane. I'm pretty sure by the time the trophy ceremony and them was done, I probably was like 2 hours away from landing in New York coming from Paris. So that just shows how long that match was.
So y'all heard exactly what Coco had to say about Aryna and just everything that went on with that situation and that's going on moving forward with Wimbledon. So we're excited to see how everything plays out. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.